What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is your boy, Tyler Gates, aka TAG Live 205, and welcome to the TAG Live 205 talk show. This is the first episode. We are going to talk about everything that you could think about. We're going to talk about NBA, we're going to talk about NFL, all the different rumors that I have written down here in my notes. First, we're going to start with the NBA draft predictions. Who will be a riser, who will be a faller. Next, we're going to switch up to the NFL and talk about who won the 2024 offseason. And then we're going to make our way to MLB trade deadline, hot takes, and talks. So bear with me. This is going to be a good ride, y'all. Let's get it. All right, so we need to talk about the NBA draft. The 2024 NBA draft is set to be on June 26th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on ABC or ESPN, locally near you. We're going to talk about the prospects of this draft. We're going to talk about the buzz surrounding these different prospects. I'm going to start at the top with Donovan Clingan and Alex Sarr. You talk about two guys that are fighting, jockeying for position to be at number one. So the clear-cut guy in this draft is definitely Alex Sarr. You talk about a player that is not going to jump off the stat sheet pulverizing-wise, but pulverizing defense is what he brings. Donovan Clingan also brings pulverizing defense. So if you are Landry Fields and you are their front office, who are you really taking at number one? They are even considering Zachary Richicher at number one as well. All the options are open, and what some may speculate to be a weak draft. I don't speculate it to be a weak draft. We said this about the 2013 draft, and now look at that. You have at least two Hall of Famers already. So I believe this draft is definitely set up to be better than 2013. Donovan Clingan does not have an offensive game that many scouts look at and can say, oh, wow, that's shocking to me. Or that stat sheet is like, man, he did this, he did that in the game. He put up this amount of rebounds, but he took 1 3. He only took 5 threes this previous season, 8 if you count the 3 main ones that he made. All in preseason games, by the way. But if I'm the Atlanta Hawks, I'm taking Alex Sarr, and I'm going to give my background reason why. You talk about a player that was behind, backing up one of the best centers in the NBL. So he was coming off the bench, and for him to even be considered to be number one coming off the bench, that means something. That means that his potential is there. That means that he should have been starting. But at the same time, Alex Sarr is what you call a pulverizing prospect in my eyes. Not only does he have the defensive reach, not only does he have the offensive reach, but he has the rebounding aspect. He has the playmaking aspect. He has everything that you can think of from a big man standpoint. I know Donovan Clingan's playmaking is there as well, but when you're talking about an all-around big man in this game now, especially with the big man position returning to its form with Shaq and Hakeem and Kareem and all of these bigs that made the center position so valuable. You talk about Victor Wembanyama, you talk about Chet Holmgren, and now Alex Sarr, Donovan Clingan, and Khalil Ware, all these other center prospects that are coming in this draft are bringing the big man position back, and this is what we talk about. And if you are the Atlanta Hawks, you are looking to trade Clint Capella, flip him, please. Flip him, flip Bogey. This is what you have to do in order to make that run to the championship, like Luka Doncic did this year. We see if you have a successful big man, what things can do for you in this game, especially one that can stretch the floor, that can hit the three eventually, already has that defensive prowess heading into the draft, heading into the league. And Alex Sarr is all of that. I'm not hitting on Donovan Clingan. I love Donovan Clingan as a prospect. But the thing about Donovan Clingan that kind of puts him in that tier 2, and I'm not even talking about tier with all the centers just number one guy, number two guy. Alex Sarr's upside and potential is way higher than Donovan Clingan. We've kind of seen where Clingan's ceiling can be, but we said the same thing about Şengün coming out in 2021, and now he's able to elevate his game, and some compare him to the baby Jokic. So Rob Dillingham, another guy that could possibly slip in this draft. I've seen him go as far as 15 to the Heat. I've seen the Wizards trading up for him with Philadelphia at 16 in mock drafts. I'm going to get to the Wizards in a moment. Also, I have to talk about Bub Carrington. I believe they did work him out as well. I would love Bub Carrington on the Wizards just due to the fact that he's a tall guard. He's 6'4", 18 years old, going to come into the league 18 years old. Playmaking, rebounding, scoring. He's a walking bucket, essentially. Just like Rob Dillingham is the walking bucket of this draft. And I don't see how he falls past 14, him or Ron Holland, in my opinion. Rob Dillingham should not be left out of the top 10, nor should Ron Holland. Yes, you have Dalton Connect and Reed Shepherd and those guys like that. I'm not as sold on Reed Shepherd. I'm sold on his shooting, but I'm just not sold on him at 3. I would take Rob Dillingham at 3. I feel like Rob Dillingham is more talented, has the more upside, the more potential than Rob Dillingham. And Dillingham coming into this draft definitely showed us something that I don't think any other prospect showed. He showed that he could shoot the ball from deep. In the combine, he showed that I'm more than just a shooter. I can facilitate, I can pass, I can do all of these things that people don't think I can do. So just for that to even cross his mind and for it to kind of, in a way, adjust his game to the NBA life, we're going to have to see how he does in his rookie year. Wherever he goes, I will be surprised if he falls out the top 15. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think Rob Dillingham's ceiling will be in the NBA, and where do you think he will either be, fall, rise? He could rise, or will he slip? Will it be like a Cam Whitmore? Will it be like a Jalen Johnson? Will it be like an AJ Griffin of years past? Just let me know. Now, I want to kind of segue my time into the NFL offseason while talking about stars, talking about young stars, especially. T. Higgins signed his tender contract for the rookie year. So he signed his franchise tag, and he's not getting the money that right now, but this time next year or a little bit before the 2025 NFL draft, I do believe that he will get paid, or some way through the season. You cannot afford to let T. Higgins walk, nor Jamar Chase. Those are your two weapons right there. And you don't want Joe Burrow to be in a Josh Allen situation where you make him wait a whole year to get an actual good wide receiver one. Not knocking Stephon Diggs, but that duo ran its course. I think we can all agree that duo ran its course, and it was time to break it up. And I love the addition of Keon Coleman there. You want to talk about somebody that's young, brave, can come right in and be that wide receiver one. And you have the Gabriel Davis replacement, hopefully, and James Cook is going to turn into an elite running back this year. I guarantee you that. Not quite going to break the 1,000-yard mark, but he will definitely be close to it. Keon Coleman, on the other hand, reminds me of a young Julio Jones. I know that is a lot of praise. I do believe that he will break the 1,000-yard mark. My prediction for him is 1,200 yards, so we're going to have to see how that goes on that front. Also, I want to get into the 2024 offseason as well, with the draft, with free agency. If you're talking about who won the draft, I have my winners are the Bills, the Falcons, and the Eagles. Those are my winners. The Bears as well. All the teams at the top are my winners, but those are my 3 notable winners. The Falcons, you secured the future, even if you secured the present. And what I mean by that is you signed Kirk Cousins to a 4-year deal worth $180 million, $1 million guaranteed. And this is what I mean by killing two birds with one stone. If you were Terry Fontenot in that front office, you signed Kirk Cousins for the present. You drafted Michael Penix for the present, but the future as well. Because Kirk Cousins, we all know he's coming off that torn ACL. He left Minnesota not so good terms when he left. They got their quarterback over there in JJ McCarthy. Justin Jefferson signed the extension. So everything's been going good for Minnesota. Atlanta, on the other hand, just had to give up a 5th-round pick for tampering with Kirk Cousins and his agency. So that already looks bad on the franchise. But this is what we mean by don't tamper. Just offer the player the money. There's no need to tamper at all. In my opinion, there's no reason why you should be tampering with any player unless you feel like that player is going to either leave you in free agency or not come to your team and you definitely want to overpay for him. But there are different ways you can tamper, but it's definitely not the legal or illegal way that they have been doing over recent years in the NFL. Courtland Sutton is another topic I want to talk about. The Denver Broncos are going to end up trading him sometime. I will be surprised if he's on the team by the time that preseason comes. And he probably will be on the team because they probably can't find a trade partner. But when you talk about Bo Nix, their young quarterback, he needs wide receivers that's been there at least 4 or 5 years. And this is what we mean by Courtland Sutton being that guy, being that veteran mentor to kind of step in and be that guy to, all right, you know what? I'm going to mentor him. I'm going to make sure that we have that connection, grow that connection out there. I'm going to mentor the other wide receivers as well. We're going to do this thing. We're going to get Denver back on track at the Mile High City. The only thing good going for us up there is the Nuggets. So Denver has to figure out, is Bo Nix the stopping carousel of the quarterbacks? And I believe he is. I haven't said this about any other quarterback. I haven't said it about Drew Lock. I didn't say it about Jarrett Stidham. I definitely didn't say it about Paxton Lynch. I definitely did not say it about Brett Rippon. If you know, you know. But this guy right here, I definitely did not say it about Russell Wilson either. I knew that was a horrible trade from the start when you traded all those pieces, but Bo Nix is going to bring activity. He's gonna bring that Johnny football-esque power and finesse to the game of football, especially to that city. And to kind of segue into the next one, he's a hot commodity. So it may not seem like he's a hot commodity because he got drafted 12th overall, and to see how he has progressed in college, being young at Auburn, just running around all the time, to actually having a system around him at Oregon when he transferred, having great wide receivers, people that he can throw to, people that he can pitch the ball to. We've seen the highlights. We know what Bo Nix can do. So there's no question why he went that high. If I was Denver, I would do it again. I would take him that high as well. His potential is there. He has Sean Payton there. Sean Payton coached too, Drew Brees. Now, am I calling him Drew Brees? Absolutely not. But here's what I'm calling him. I'm calling him the next guy up that can definitely step up and be that Drew Brees type of player that can scramble more than Drew Brees does. What I mean, he's a more athletic Drew Brees in my book. And we're now going to segue, speaking of hot commodities, hot takes, hot commodities on the trade deadline for the MLB. We're going to start with Pete Alonso. Pete Alonso on the year has not been great. His average has never been great, but Pete Alonso is known for hitting home runs. The polar bear, the Star Wars of the Mets organization, right? You have Francisco Lindor there. You have Edwin Diaz, you have all these players. Jeff McNeil's still there. He's still riding it out, but is he going to be there for long? The Mets are going to struggle. They said last year around this time in July at the trade deadline that they were focused on 2025. And if this is the year that you can sell almost all your pieces and get so many pieces back, you do it. You do it. I would even think about a Lindor trade. I know his contract is a little bit longer, so to kind of match up the money, and then also teams taking on that money for at least another 4 to 5 years. You don't want that if you're the Mets, especially if you're trying to get prospects back. You already got Drew Gilbert. You already have Ryan Clifford. That's your outfield. That's who you want to build around, right? So here is what I'm going to say about this. What I'm going to say about this is, as a Mets fan, you have to look at this and be like, okay, this front office, what are they doing? You guys promised us a ring. You guys promised us a championship run. Steve Cohen, he's trying everything he can. Uncle Stevie, he's trying everything he can out there to make sure that stars come there. But sometimes the big markets have to realize the stars are not going to come to the big market teams sometimes, and therefore you have to build through the draft. Plain and simple. It's like the Lakers and the Clippers. It's a segue. It's like the Lakers and the Clippers, or the Knicks, or even the Heat, if you consider it a big market. The free agency pool is going to get lucky for you sometimes. Other times, it's not going to be so lucky. That's why the Lakers are in this predicament right now with Anthony Davis and LeBron James, because they built through the draft. Therefore, LeBron came there, and therefore they were able to trade for Anthony Davis using the young pieces that they drafted. Sometimes a rebuild through the draft for big market teams is just the way to go, especially small market teams also. You know you're not going to get the big free agent name unless you overpay. That's just the way of the game now. That's just the way of the game. But my biggest buyers and my biggest sellers, I have the Mets being the biggest seller at the deadline, and I have, surprisingly, the Detroit Tigers being the biggest buyer, and I'm going to state why. Riley Green and Spencer Torkelson, that is your future if you are Detroit. You are now in the post-Miggy era, which means it's time to make the playoffs. It's time to at least get to 500 this year, and they've been doing that. Their record is so nice right now. They've been doing so great, and I'm ready for the Tigers to take that next step. I'm ready for Riley Green to become that elite outfielder, that all-star out there. Spencer Torkelson reminds me of a younger Pete Alonso out there, but has a better average. So I'm ready for him to get back on his track as well, the former number 1 overall pick in the 2020 MLB draft. And when you talk about potential guys that they can get, Detroit, what do they always need? They need pitching. They always need pitching. You already have Erod out there. He's back to his all-star pitching ways and pitching form out there. Tarek Skubal, all-star this year. Tyler Alexander, a good rotational arm. Matt Manning, a good rotation arm. You have Ty Madden down there and Jackson Joe, who can come up as soon as this year and help out this team to make a postseason run. Jackson Joe will be an all-star in this league, will be an all-star pitcher. I guarantee you that. But prospects that they can trade, they don't have many. They don't have many. You have JHM, Justin Henry Melor, or Mellory. My apologies. His name is definitely hard to pronounce, but he's the guy that you can flip. If teams see potential, you did acquire him from the Braves a few years ago. So if guys see potential, we're going to put him in a trade. We're going to possibly have to put Jace Jung. Well, no, Jace Jung should be untouchable. Guys like JHM or I dare say a Ty Madden, but Ty Madden, he might have to give him up to get a big name pitcher or to get a middle of the rotation infielder out there, and to see how they turn their whole franchise around and season around. It's been great. It's been great. Now, the biggest seller, I said the Mets, but I'm going to throw the A's in there as well. I'm going to throw the Diamondbacks in there, but I want to talk about the Mets. As we know, their 2023 season did not go well. Did not. Therefore, ending up selling at the deadline last year, trading Max Scherzer to the Rangers and Justin Verlander to the Astros. So, but in return, they got the prospects. They got the future in the return. They got Luis Aniel Acuna, Drew Gilbert, Ryan Clifford. That is your outfield for the future right there. You have Jet. You already have Jet at the shortstop position for the future. As soon as next year, in my opinion, Acuna could play any position in the infield and the outfield as well. He's very versatile, more versatile than his brother, but not better than his brother, if you get what I mean. But he'll definitely be a pulverizing prospect for the next year and a half, just to see if he can come up this year. He may even come up this year. He may even come up at the beginning of next year and make the starting roster from spring training. We're just here to see it. Jet Williams, Luis Aniel Acuna, Drew Gilbert, Ryan Clifford. I'm here for the Mets. I'm here for their rebuild and to keep seeing them trade off pieces and get players, trade off pieces and get players. Do it. If you have to do it, you have to do it. 2025 is not far behind at all. And then my last kind of segue this morning before I go is the WNBA. So I want to talk about Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, Cameron Brink, this whole rookie class, Rakaya Jackson, everybody in this class. This class of rookies is definitely the best class I think we've seen in a while from the WNBA. I can't remember the last great class of the WNBA. So therefore, I'm going to go ahead and put them on a pedestal. I'm going to put them at number 2 all time for my WNBA draft list, just because I do not know if there's a better class out there right now than I do think there is. But this is why we've researched. I do think there's a better class than this class. So we're going to see. I'm going to research it. That's going to be on the next show. And we're going to talk about that as well. But Caitlin Clark getting fouled by the likes of Chandi Carter, even Angel Reese herself, basically came out and was like, this league is not all about her. You have to look at this whole rookie class and see what the rookie class has did to impact the return of the WNBA. And I highly agree with her. The WNBA would not be as powerful as it is right now if this rookie class was not coming in. And therefore, too, people, the rookie class next year is going to be even more stacked than what it is right now. And to see how things kind of segue and lead themselves into prominence and into stardom, different rumors and different players coming from different countries and stuff like that. The WNBA is back, people. But what we have to realize is we can't take it for granted. We cannot take it for granted. And the WNBA is only going to get better. The commissioner, she's only going to get better with the direction of the league. I feel like if they can become more of the NBA, have 12-minute quarters, and so on and so forth with the All-Star game, with All-Star weekend, the WNBA will be up there as a top 5 sport eventually. I think it's a top 5 sport right now. It's definitely a top 5 sport right now when you talk about conversation and just a sport that's talked about all across the world. It's Olympic time, right? The USA team, Caitlin Clark, got left off the list. I think that's a great idea. It motivates her and it shows her everything's not going to be handed to you in this league. Just because you're the number 1 pick and you're a generational talent doesn't mean that you are going to get handed everything. And I like that. So this gives her time to prove herself and say, you know what? I'm going to show y'all. I'm going to show y'all what I can do. And for her to kind of switch up and not be so aggressive and just calm about it. That's what I like from Caitlin Clark. how she just takes it and then she just walks away. Just walks away and she washes her hands of the situation and then she just goes on about it. She doesn't let it bother her at all. But she will address with the commentary, with the media. She did address it by basically saying that this is our league. Our league is it's not just about me, but it is about all of us. And it is about the rebirth of the WNBA. That's basically what she said in a nutshell. And I totally agree with her. I totally agree with her on that. So just for her to even do that just goes to show you the prowess and how she is as a person. So this morning, that is all that I have this morning. We're going to talk about next time a lot of different things. Leave down in the comment section what you guys want me to talk about next time. The next time we're all here, I will be presenting my NBA trade deadline 2025 prediction. Also, the NBA draft predictions as well. Who will rise, who will fall, who will slip. Also, draft rumors, trade rumors, free agency rumors, sign and trade rumors, anything. Okay? Anything. So, we're going to segue out of this. I will be back. Trust me, I will be back. Stay live, y'all. Stay live. Peace.